And now for a Next News special report.
In this special report, we're diving into a high-tension scenario that unfolded on the turbulent waters off Yemen's coast. The USS Carney faced down a missile threat in a daring interception that'll have your heart racing and your mind asking, what's next for America? As the embers of conflict glow hot around the world, our men and women in uniform are out there holding the line for our great republic. But what does this mean for us back home? And how do these global chess moves impact your day-to-day life? This story ties into the very fabric of our national security, so stay with us for this special report because you don't want to miss what we've uncovered. And folks, my final thought is on this is something every American needs to hear, so don't go anywhere. In the world's most volatile regions, the U.S. military continues to stand as a beacon of strength and a shield against tyranny. Just recently, our brave sailors aboard the USS Carney, operating in the Middle East, became the embodiment of American resolve. Take a look.
Course 200, change course 207.
They intercepted multiple projectiles, missiles that were slicing through the sky with deadly intent right off Yemen's coast. This isn't just a distant event, folks. It's the testament to the ever-present dangers facing our nation and our unwavering commitment to peace and stability. Here's more.
The Pentagon now says a U.S. Navy destroyer shot down several missiles and drones that were launched from Yemen. Let's bring in our chief national security analyst, Jim Sciutto. You're working the story for us, Jim. Yeah. What do we know about this intercept and the risk, potentially, of escalation in the Middle East?
Well, Wolf, when my colleague Oren Lieberman and I first reported this afternoon, what we knew at the time was that a U.S. destroyer off of Yemen had intercepted multiple projectiles, missiles, target unknown. It had successfully destroyed those missiles. The question was, where were they headed? Were they targeting those U.S. ships or elsewhere? What we learned over the afternoon, as the Pentagon said, is that they believe those missiles were headed northwest towards Israel. Of course, the danger there was that the Houthi rebels, which the U.S. believes fired these missiles, they are backed by Iran. They follow orders from Iran. Was this an instance where another front is being opened up against Israel in this war there? As you know, there are U.S. assets around the region. You have two carrier groups in the Eastern Mediterranean. Of course, you have numerous ships in the Arabian Gulf and off the coast of Yemen, and they could use their capabilities, including anti-missile capabilities, to take out potential threats. And that's what appears to have happened here. Of course, the danger, Wolf, is escalation not only involving Israel, another front opened up on Israel by, in effect, a proxy group, the Houthis, controlled by Iran, but also you have U.S. forces in the line of fire in the Eastern Med, in the Arabian Gulf, and off the coast of Yemen. And it shows you, Wolf, the potential for escalation of this war.
One of our officials said the missiles were the handiwork of Iranian-backed Houthi militants actively engaged in Yemen's ongoing conflict. That's right, Iranian-backed. The same Iran that's been a thorn in the side of international diplomacy and a constant agitator against American interests. Now their proxies, the Houthis, have the audacity to take aim at our servicemen and our women, but our forces weren't having it, not one bit. The USS Carney shot down not one, not two, but 3 land attack missiles and several drones launched by these Houthi forces. Pentagon Press Secretary Brigadier General Pat Ryder didn't mince words when he confirmed the action. Watch.
The guided missile destroyer USS Carney, operating in the northern Red Sea earlier today, shot down 3 land attack cruise missiles and several drones that were launched by Houthi forces in Yemen. This action was a demonstration of the integrated air and missile defense architecture that we have built in the Middle East and that we are prepared to utilize whenever necessary to protect our partners and our interests in this important region. There were no casualties to U.S. forces and none that we know of to any civilians on the ground. Information about these engagements is still being processed. We cannot say for certain what these missiles and drones were targeting, but they were launched from Yemen, heading north along the Red Sea, potentially towards targets in Israel. Our defensive response was one that we would have taken for any similar threat in the region, where we're able to do so against our interest personnel and our partners. This attack may be ongoing, so if we have more information to share, we will. But again, as the Secretary has made clear, we have the capability to defend our broader interests in the region and to deter regional escalation and broader expansion of the conflict that began with Hamas's attack on Israeli civilians on October 7th.
This incident doesn't stand alone. It's part of a series of recent unnerving events with U.S. bases targeted by drone attacks in Syria and Iraq. And all this is happening against the backdrop of escalating tensions between Israel and Hamas, a conflict that's already claimed thousands of innocent lives. Let's pull back the bigger picture for a moment. These aren't random acts of violence. They're calculated, folks. Last week, Iraqi armed groups cozy with Iran issued threats to target U.S. interests with missiles and drones if Washington dared to support Israel against Hamas in Gaza. You see the connection? It's a tangled web of allegiances and allegiances, and right at the center is the safety and security of our republic. Now, it's important to understand the scope of our commitment in these regions. The United States currently has 2,500 troops in Iraq and 900 more in neighboring Syria. Their mission? To advise and assist local forces against the Islamic State, which, let's not forget, seized massive territories in both countries back in 2014. Our presence there isn't an act of aggression, it's a bulwark against chaos. However, a discussion wouldn't be complete without touching on the heart-wrenching human costs. The war between Israel and Hamas, ignited by an unprecedented attack on Israel on October 7th, has been devastating. Israeli authorities report at least 1,400 fatalities in Gaza, and the toll stands at a staggering 3,785, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health. Each of these numbers isn't just statistics, they are someone's family, friends, and they're human beings. Amidst this turmoil, the White House is stepping up its game, preparing a massive $105 billion foreign aid package that includes a substantial $60 billion for Ukraine and $14 billion for Israel. President Biden, during his national address, underscored that success in Ukraine and Israel is vital to the U.S. because stability there reflects on security here. Watch.
I know these conflicts can seem far away, and it's natural to ask, why does this matter to America? So let me share with you why making sure Israel and Ukraine succeed is vital for America's national security. You know, history has taught us that when terrorists don't pay a price for their terror, when dictators don't pay a price for their aggression, they cause more chaos and death and more destruction. They keep going, and the cost and the threats to America and the world keep rising. So if we don't stop Putin's appetite for power and control in Ukraine, he won't limit himself just to Ukraine. Putin's already threatened to remind Poland that their Western land was a gift from Russia. One of his top advisors, a former president of Russia, has called Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania Russia's Baltic provinces. These are all NATO allies. For 75 years, NATO has kept peace in Europe and has been the cornerstone of American security. And if Putin attacks a NATO ally, we will defend every inch of NATO which the treaty requires and calls for.
And speaking of security, let's talk about your personal safety in a world where threats don't always come with a warning. Whether they're natural, political, or economic, preparedness is your first line of defense. That's right. And here's something to think about. Just as our Navy was prepared to intercept those missiles, you need to be ready for any crisis that comes your way. No scripts, no warnings, just life happening unpredictably. And my friends at My Patriot Supply, they're stepping up to help you do just that. They're offering a rare 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food kit. This isn't about fear, it's about readiness. It's about ensuring your family has a plan when the unpredictable strikes. You need 1 kit per person to set your mind at ease. And listen, this offer is not going to last forever. Visit preparewithgary.com to claim your 25% discount and sleep soundly knowing that you are ready for whatever comes your way. Now, moving back to our troops overseas, the situation demands attention. Ain al-Assad Air Base in Iraq's western Anbar province, which houses U.S. and other international forces, has found itself in the crosshairs too. Rockets and drones piercing the evening skies, their menacing roars a reminder of the persistent danger our troops face every single day. What's clear from all this is the interconnectedness of global events. A strike here, a conflict there, and ripples are felt worldwide. The U.S., with its military presence, is often a target for forces that wish to disrupt the status quo, challenge peace and stability. Our servicemen and women, standing on the front lines of freedom, deserve our utmost respect and support. My friends, this is more than just a series of overseas incidents. It's a glaring reminder that we live in a world where threats don't respect borders, they don't adhere to diplomacy, they're ruthless, and they're real. And they confirm that our continued vigilance, our military readiness, and our unyielding stand against aggressors are as crucial as ever. Our republic was built on principles of freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. And when those principles are threatened, whether at home or abroad, it's not just a military issue, it's an American issue. Our response, our resilience reflects the very spirit of this great nation. So as we continue to monitor the situation in the Middle East, keep in mind the bravery of those aboard the USS Carney, the resolve of our troops in Syria and Iraq, and the unbreakable spirit of our republic. Let their stories be a reminder of the courage and strength that guard our nation's freedom. As we wrap up tonight's report, I want you to take away one vital point. America's engagement in these global hotspots isn't just about flexing military muscle. It's about safeguarding the values our great republic stands for. The courage shown by the crew of the USS Carney isn't just their courage. It's American courage. It's a spirit that kept our country secure and our freedoms intact. The world's a stage, folks, and the actions we take, the responses we make, they matter. They resonate beyond borders and echo through the annals of history. Remember, the security of our nation isn't just in the hands of those wearing the uniform. It's in our resolve as a people, our unity, and our unwavering belief in this country. And that's why this story matters to each and every one of us. Stay strong, stay vigilant, and keep believing in America. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.